Hello everybody, we shall do a little cleaning and honing video. You shall see how it works. It's this razor I was talking about in the last video. It's German Biedermeier Biedermeier razor. I will flip this phone so you can see what I'm doing and we shall see if it works. This razor, it's not so bad condition, this razor. Little bit of polishing it needs. I don't think we have to do any sandpapering here. We shall see in the tongue here. We shall see. I don't know if we need it, but it needs a little bit of cleaning. And okay, let's start. So that's the first thing I actually do. Just getting it cleaner so you can get away this, if there's some oily things or something like that. And you get to look at the razor if there's any issues with it when you do this cleaning like I do. There's a little bit something there. Maybe I think it's a little bit rust, but maybe it's will disappear when I use this polishing chrome polishing substance. There's the same thing, a little bit rust here. We shall see what happens. I sometimes take a cloth and rub it in. Sometimes I take my Dremel with a pad here, and I think we're gonna use the Dremel this time. And this could be a little bit dirty. Metal polish chrome glance, auto sword here. Yeah, you got the picture how I'm doing it. And then take a clean cloth, and polish it up. And you take the spine and do the same thing on the spine and the other side. And on the tongue here, I think it's called tongue here. And you just go over the whole razor and try to clean it as much you can with this by hand, or use these things. And I'm gonna show you when it's finished. Okay, it's time for the honing. Before I start the hone, I'm gonna show you the razor, how it looks when I clean it up. In my opinion, it's cleaned enough, so it feels clean at least. I was talking about this pin here was a little bit loose. Just gonna show you, got the stainless steel block of metal here. And take the razor, put the pin here just to you have to, here it's not on the plastic, it have to be on the metal. When you feel that it's on the metal, the pin, take this small hammer and just pin a couple of times, not so hard, and feel, and that's enough to get this razor really firm, almost too firm. But when I'm using it, it's gonna get much smoother. So a couple of taps is just enough to pin one of these pins a little bit tighter. I'm just gonna take these away. And the stones today I'm gonna use is this one, the first stone I'm used there. It's a 5,000 grit stone. It's even a 2,000 grit stone, but I'm not gonna use this 2,000 grit. I'm gonna use only the 5,000 grit. And when that's finished with that stone, I'm gonna use this Naniwa stone. We got a package here. It's an 8,000 grit stone. And when I'm finished with that 8,000 grit stone, I'm gonna go to my finishing stone. This is a Japanese natural stone. Looks really ugly in the bottom here. But we're gonna use this side. It's a really hard stone. And we're gonna use, today I'm gonna use one slurry from this stone. And we shall see how many laps I have to do. But let's start with this 5,000 grit stone. I got a loop here. I look at the loop, through the loop very often. It's got the light here, like that. You have to look at the edge to see how the edge looks like. But first, this is a water stone. I have had soaked for water for 10 minutes about, and have lapped the stones. All the stones I have lapped, I have used this lapping stone. Maybe not the best stone, but it works. All the stones have to be flat when you start to use these honing stones. And we shall see here. The first thing I do, I water to the stone, take the razor and look if there is any warp on it. If this is flipping like this, or on this side like this, then there is a warp. You have to work much more with the razor. It feels like there is little bit here, but I hope it's managed to fix it when I hone. And I always start with 5 strokes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With a little bit of pressure. Not so much, just a little. Why I just do 5 strokes is just because I want to look at with the loop and see. Of course, I have looked at the edge before I started, but now I get an idea how much and where the honing or grinding is emerged, and I know where it is now. I now know how much it looks after 5 strokes. As you see, I do the same kind of strokes at 20. I flip and do 10. And I flip and do 10. And I flip. I add more water first. And I do 10 more. Add more water, and now I'm just gonna do some strokes here. So feel I'm actually using a bit of pressure now on the stone, just to, I know I always use a lot of water when I'm doing these hones. I don't know why, I always done it. I think it's easier to see what happens when you use. And that dark thing you see on that stone, it's metal grinding that I have ground away from this razor, both from the spine and an edge of the razor. Now I'm gonna take a look with my loop again. Sorry guys, this is not so fun to look at, I know, but maybe someone think it's fun or learning. You maybe learn something. Just look at the edge, so the edge is nice and clean all the way, and it feels like it looks fine. Then the last part here I have to grind more, and I take a grape just to check if the bevel or the edge is okay, and if I just put it on the grape and just barely push, it should cut with no problem, and it does cut really nice, and the grape tastes really nice. Yeah, that's the way I check if the bevel is okay, but I think I just have to work a little bit more in the top here. I'm just gonna use these kind of strokes, but I only use this part of the razor on the stone. I use a little bit pressure. 10 strokes. I don't need to go all the way from the beginning here, from the heel, because I got the right bevel or right dimension of the edge. I'm just going to take a little bit here. I'm gonna wipe it again. I look at the blooper one more time and see if I got more. There's one point there is a difficulty, is because there is rust on the edge, and now it looks much more smoother or more even. It looks real nice. Just going to clean that stone one more time and do a couple of more laps. It's a lot of material on the stones, not so pretty. And at this point, when I know I got an edge that is nice, I often kill the edge by dragging it on the edge here 2-3 times. Just because if there is some burr or something on the edge, on top of the edge, you kill that edge. And you can see now, if I take a grape here, it doesn't cut. Actually, if I push really hard, it cuts. But you see, I put the razor like this and pull it. You have to actually drag it really much and push actually really much before it cuts. And this grape was good too. So I do this, killing the edge, just to get back the edge again, and then I'm gonna go to another stone. I'm doing X strokes. I don't use so much pressure on these strokes. And always when you use a honing stone, you always go with the edge first. When you do your stropping, you go with the spine first. And this is just something you have to practice doing. You feel when the stone, where it actually grinds. But at this moment, there's actually a bit of grinding I do. When I go to the 8000 grit stone, it's more polishing. And when I go to the finishing stone, it's all about polishing. Just gonna clean this blade up with tissue here. Take another grape and see. Just a little bit more. I have to work a little bit more with it. In the front, it's okay. Here, in the nice grapes. I don't use so much pressure now. I just want this edge to emerge again. If I use more pressure, I can get that edge much faster, but then I have to use pressure all the time when I'm honing on the finer stones, and I don't want to use pressure. I just want to just let the razor do the work. Take another grape, try. Now it cuts much easier. I just push a little bit, you see, take the weight of the razor like this, and just, you don't have to drag it more than 2 millimeters and it cuts immediately. Just the weight of the razor, you see. Before, when I have to drag it all the way down here on the razor. So now, in my opinion, I think the edge is nice and sharp. I'm just gonna switch to the other stone here. Take away these filthy paper. So I'm gonna throw it there. I'm going to take new water on this. This is the 8000 grit stone. Lap the stone with my lapping stone. So the first thing I do, take the razor and do a lot of these strokes. Half stroke, I think it's called. And then I go to do X strokes. When I don't do these half strokes, I think it's called half stroke these, I use moderate pressure, not so much, just a little bit. When I go over to these X strokes, I try to have very little pressure on the stone and let the razor work. And when, after a while I do this, I try not to have a pressure at all, just let the razor's weight do the work. Why I use pressure from the beginning of these strokes is just I want to polish it up a bit faster. That's the reason. But you don't have so much control when you do so fast and you have pressure. When I mean pressure, I don't mean a lot of pressure, but a bit of pressure at least. And this is the thing that can happen if you push too much. You actually warp the blade. This is not so much hollow ground on this razor. I think it's Well, I forgot to look actually. It feels like a quarter hollow razor or something like that, and there is no problem to, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, there is not so big issues. You can do that, but it's very easy to warp the blade if you have too much pressure. And now I'm just going to look through the loop here and see how it looks. And what I'm doing now, there is a little bit issue in one place here, but I don't know if it's going to do any problem with the shaving. Yeah, I'm looking the grind marks from the 8000 grit stone, and it have to be all the way, so I have to do a little bit more work. Just clean that way a little bit, add a little bit of water, and sometimes I work with a toe like this. I don't put so much pressure here, but I just have more control on the heel. And if I want to work with a toe, I can work like this. So I have more control over the edge on this toe. I needed a little bit more work on these toes and heels. So I do like this. Then I go back to do these so-called X strokes. Sometimes I use my hands like this just to support it a little bit. And often I do like this. It doesn't matter how you do it, just as long as you don't put a lot of pressure on it and you can keep that razor flat on the stones. I want to check it with a grape. That's the best way for me to check if this is okay. Looks really nice. Just gonna do a couple of more X strokes. Okay for me too, so we shall see if it works. Just gonna fold it and take my Japanese natural stone with my slurry stone here. Just gonna add some water. These stones don't have to be soaked in water, just add water like the Naniwa Super stones. The same thing, you don't have to have them soaked. Take this slurry stone and build up a slurry. It's just, you have to rub this stone to get a nice slurry. Don't have to use so much pressure. If you use a lot of pressure, you actually can grind that bottom stone. That's not good. You're gonna do scrape marks on it. I don't know if it's an issue, but I don't want to have much pressure. I don't want to destroy the edge, the surface of that stone. As you can see, it's building up some slurry here. There's people that don't use so much slurry. I like slurry. So I actually have, for some people, think I have too much slurry. But now we got the slurry there, and now I'm just going to do X strokes, nothing else on this finishing stone. I'm just going to put some towel there so we can tilt it a little bit like that. I hope it works. I'm just going to do X strokes. This is just take it easy, don't be in a hurry, just get in a nice mood, listen to some good music, something, and just work with the slurry. And when I have about 30 laps, I don't know how many I have done right now, but I think it's up to 30 laps, something like that. I will add some more water to the slurry, like that, and the slurry gets much thinner. Go to 30 more laps. And now when I got 30 laps, I take the slurry, pour that away. So I got little slurry here, and add more water. So now it's really thin slurry. And now I do 20 strokes maybe. Now I got 20, and it feels good. Just gonna clean this away, and just gonna take a look at it with the loop, and of course try it with the grape. And when I look at this edge here, when I'm finished, have done the finishing laps with this 8000 grit stone, this Naniwa Super Stone, the edge is almost some kind of shining to it, and when I'm doing these laps with this super stone, finishing stone, there is different kind of marmorerad, we call it here in Sweden, marmorated, I don't know, but it looks different on the edge. And I'm just going to check with the grape first, and everything looks nice. So I just eat the grape. Trying to find some hair here. We shall see if it cuts. Yes, I got hair on my razor. I don't know if you can see it, but I almost cut myself. There is hair. Oops. So it cuts my arm hair, but if it works to shave my face with, we shall see. I'm gonna do, just polish it up a little bit when I'm gonna show it to you. Yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna clean up here, and when that's finished, I'm gonna go to my strop and strop this beauty. I'm gonna do 60 laps on the leather side, and I'm gonna do 100 laps on the 60 laps on the linen side and 100 laps on the leather side, and then it's finished to shave. And I thought I could do a shave tomorrow, or maybe on Friday, but I think I'm gonna do it tomorrow. So there's gonna be a lot of videos this week, sorry guys, and see if this razor actually works. I think so. It felt really nice. I almost cut my finger here, so we shall see tomorrow if it works or if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, I just have to go back to stones and do a new thing, new honing, and see if it gets better. Thank you for watching, everybody, and see you tomorrow, me shaving with this razor.